Greetings, brethren. There's a lot of confusion about keeping the law, and there's a lot of movements like the Hebrew Roots movement. They put just such an importance on, the fact that they're Jewish or the Jewish ways of life, or keeping the ordinances and everything else. They make such importance that you have to follow the Jewish ordinances and the practices, that you must do the Jewish practices. And since Christ came, he established a new covenant, new stipulations. He has set us free from, ordinances. That's not no longer keeps us in the right relationship with God. If we break fellowship with God, that's not uh, that doesn't regain the relationship we have them. That doesn't uh, don't have to. You're not obligated to do the practices of the law or ordinances to keep in right standing with God. And they um, they put such importance that you have to bless Israel, and they uh, they misinterpret that. That's a covenant made to Abraham. We don't have to bless Israel to be blessed. Um, they say you gotta bless Israel or God won't bless you, but the prom that was made to Abraham and his seeds, the generations, a couple generations afterwards. But the promise, he said to uh, the all nations shall be blessed through his seed. In Galatians 3:16, we find out uh, that seed is Christ. All nations of the world is going to be blessed by his seed, which is Christ. Christ is that seed. You're in you If you're in Christ, you are blessed. All nations shall be blessed by that seed, which is Christ. So, um, ever since he died on the cross, he established the new covenant by his blood, uh, as the uh, Last Supper. Take, drink. This is the new. This is my blood to establish the new covenant. He established the new covenant by his blood. Um, Clearest um, passage is that the new covenant is established is Hebrews 8. And let's start in verse 6. But now hath he attained a more excellent ministry, by how much also he is mediator of a better covenant, which was established on better promises. If if the first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them, he saith, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah. That's a direct quote from Jeremiah 31, verses 31 through 34, saying someday in the future that God will make a new covenant. And in that point of time, when Christ died on the cross, that was what he was talking about. He made a new covenant, right, with the blood of Christ. Verse 9, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day which I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt. That's the law of Moses. Because they continue not in my covenant, and regarded I regarded them not, saith the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I'll put my laws into their hearts, and I will be them to a God, and they shall be me to a people. They shall not teach every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins I'll remember, their sins and their iniquities I will remember no more. And he saith, A new covenant he hath made, the first old. Now that which decayeth and waxes old is ready to vanish away. So you see, when he established a new covenant by Christ, he didn't do away with the law, but he has made a way to regain relationship, not by, as we learn in Hebrews 10 and 9, through carnal ordinances and through the sacrifices, the blood of bulls, and that was under the Old Testament, making the altars and sprinkling blood all over the altar, and sacrifice bulls and goats. It says that the blood of goats shall no wise take away the sins, but Christ was the last sacrifice once and for all. The last sacrifice, the last blood atonement for rest and forever. Therefore, afterwards, there is no more sacrifices of blood sacrifices. So at least the blood sacrifices, those ordinances, are done away with, because Christ was our last and final sacrifice. And we are not made righteous through upholding the ordinances and the laws, because we're not judged by those ordinances and laws. We are held under Christ. And faith in Christ is how we get in right standing with God, and not the Old Testament ordinances. The ordinances is no longer the method to keep in right standing with God. Hope this helped you. Thank you, and take care.